Let me talk to you.
There have been some massive Newcastle United transfer developments. So from Sky Sports Germany revealing Newcastle's video call with Dortmund star, to Newcastle's pursuits of Bryan Mbeumo and Liam Delap hitting dilemmas, to Paul Mitchell targeting rising Cameroonian star, to Anthony Elanga fueling Newcastle transfer speculation. Plus, with Newcastle pushing for top 4, is Joelinton set to miss the rest of the season? As per, join us as we'll break it all down.
Let's go.
Starting off, Newcastle United have reportedly taken a step back in their pursuit of Bournemouth defender Dean Huijsen, wary of repeating the mistakes of last summer's failed chase for Crystal Palace's Marc Guehi. Huijsen has enjoyed a stunning debut Premier League season with Bournemouth and is expected to leave the South Coast club this summer. The Spanish international is one of the hottest properties in Europe, with Chelsea, Arsenal and Liverpool all keen to activate his £50 million release clause. Newcastle, who have already held talks with Huijsen's representatives, are understood to admire the centre-back, but are aware that the player prioritises Champions League football, regular game time, and a sizable salary, demands that may be difficult to meet amid fierce competition. Sporting director Paul Mitchell is keen to avoid a protracted transfer saga like last summer's ultimately fruitless attempt to land Guehi. Currently sitting third in the Premier League, Newcastle's qualification for the Champions League would significantly impact their summer strategy. According to football finance expert Professor Rob Wilson, securing a top 5 finish would unlock between €60 80 million in revenue, vital headroom under profitability and sustainability rules, PSR. Wilson notes this windfall could fund up to 4 new signings on long-term contracts, giving Mitchell and his team more financial leeway heading into a pivotal window. While Huijsen may be slipping from reach, Newcastle's centre-back search continues. Marc Guehi remains on the radar, although the club will again refuse to overpay. With major decisions ahead, Mitchell faces a crucial first summer in charge. Balancing quality recruitment with financial prudence will be key, and missing out on Huijsen may simply reflect a smarter, more disciplined Newcastle United. Then moving on, Newcastle United's interest in Bryan Mbeumo has intensified ahead of what promises to be a pivotal summer at St James's Park. According to The Telegraph's Luke Edwards, Mbeumo has been identified as an ideal target for Eddie Howe, who is keen to bolster his attacking options following Miguel Almiron's January departure. The Brentford star has been tracked by Newcastle scouts over the past year and is now seen as a serious candidate to fill the right-wing role next season. At 25 years old, Mbeumo has enjoyed a standout season, scoring 18 goals, the second most of any winger in the Premier League behind Mo Salah. His versatility is a major attraction, with the Cameroon international capable of playing on the right flank or through the middle, as demonstrated during Ivan Toney's absence. He's delivered 39 goal contributions in his last 68 league appearances, making him one of the division's most productive forwards. However, Newcastle's pursuit is complicated by Mbeumo's £60 million+ valuation. While the club does not see this fee as unreasonable for a proven Premier League player in his prime, there is concern that such a significant outlay could restrict investment in other priority positions. The club is also looking to sign a goalkeeper, a right-sided centre-back, and a striker, with Liam Delap on their radar for around £30 million, so spending record-breaking money on Mbeumo could limit those plans. Brentford's willingness to do business may hinge on the fact Mbeumo has just 2 years left on his current deal. This could prompt them to cash in while his value is high. However, interest from rival Premier League clubs could spark a bidding war, driving the price even higher and forcing Newcastle to reconsider how best to balance their budget. Despite the complications, there's hope at St James's Park that a deal can be struck, with Howe and the recruitment team determined to bring in quality if the club are to compete across multiple competitions next season. Then regarding Liam Delap, as he finds himself in a strong negotiating position heading into the summer transfer window, with a host of clubs vying for the 22-year-old striker's signature following Ipswich Town's relegation to the Championship. Delap is widely expected to leave Portman Road before joining up with England's under-21 squad for the European Championships in June. With his £30 million release clause now active, interest has surged across the Premier League and beyond. The former Manchester City forward is reportedly seeking a lucrative contract worth between £120,000 and £150,000 per week, figures that would place him among the top earners at Newcastle United. According to recent reports, these wage demands are already proving a stumbling block for some suitors. While the fee is considered reasonable for a young forward with Premier League and international pedigree, Delap's camp appears to be leveraging the affordability of the release clause to push for a premium wage package. Interest from financially powerful clubs such as Manchester United and Chelsea, as well as Bundesliga contenders RB Leipzig and Bayer Leverkusen, means Delap is negotiating from a position of strength. For Newcastle, the situation presents a complex scenario. Delap would likely be arriving as a backup to Alexander Isak, a role that may not align with the player's ambition or justify his wage demands. Committing 6 figures per week to a second-choice striker is a bold move, especially with financial fair play considerations still lingering in the background. However, there may be a workaround. The potential departure of Callum Wilson could offer Newcastle the flexibility they need. The 33-year-old striker, whose contract expires this summer, has been told he must earn an extension, but recent form suggests his time at the club may be nearing its end. Wilson is believed to earn between £60,000 and £80,000 per week. Letting him go would not only reduce the wage bill but also free up space in the squad for a younger, more dynamic forward like Delap. While it would be disappointing to see Wilson leave on a free, the financial and sporting benefits of investing in a younger alternative with greater long-term potential could outweigh any sentimental considerations. Liam Delap represents an intriguing transfer opportunity, one that balances promise with risk. Newcastle will need to weigh up the cost of meeting his wage demands against the long-term value he could bring to the squad. If they can clear the path by offloading Wilson, the move may just make sense. Furthermore, as Newcastle United's summer transfer ambitions continue to take shape, but a recent attempt to land a Bundesliga star appears to have hit a major roadblock. According to Sky Germany's Patrick Berger, Newcastle held discussions with Borussia Dortmund and Germany international Nico Schlotterbeck earlier this month over a potential summer transfer. Talks reportedly began via video call in early April, as the club continues its active pursuit of a top-level centre-back. It's not the first time the club has admired Schlotterbeck, having tracked him closely during his Freiburg days before he eventually chose a move to Dortmund in 2022. The same summer Newcastle signed Sven Botman. Just as discussions were gaining momentum, Newcastle's interest has been put on ice after Schlotterbeck suffered a torn meniscus, ruling him out until at least October. The timing of the injury, coming just weeks after Newcastle's approach, has derailed any plans for a summer switch. Dortmund are now hopeful of keeping the 25-year-old long-term, with reports suggesting he's in line for a new contract that would make him the club's highest-paid player. This, coupled with his recent injury, significantly complicates any immediate move. While a deal looks unlikely for this summer, Schlotterbeck could remain on Newcastle's long-term radar. However, any future approach would likely come at a higher cost, both in transfer fee and wages, especially if he signs a new deal with Dortmund. With Champions League or Europa League football secured, and new backing from Paul Mitchell's recruitment team, Newcastle clearly have the ambition to make big moves. But Schlotterbeck's case is a reminder that timing, fitness, and contract situations remain key hurdles in the transfer game. Then, in another development, Newcastle United's long-standing interest in Anthony Elanga has resurfaced, with the Swedish winger once again linked to a move to Tyneside ahead of the summer window. After missing out on him during the 2024 deadline day, largely due to PSR constraints and the unexpected sale of Yankuba Minte, the Magpies remain eager to bolster their right-wing options, and Elanga is believed to be high on the club's revamped recruitment list under Paul Mitchell. While Jacob Murphy's emergence has somewhat mitigated the lack of depth on the right flank, Newcastle's need for attacking reinforcements remains clear. Miguel Almiron's January departure to Atlanta United further highlighted the gap, despite Murphy impressively outperforming Elanga's attacking numbers earlier in the season. Still, Mitchell's admiration for Elanga hasn't waned, and recent social media activity has only intensified speculation. The 23-year-old commented on a TikTok post from Newcastle forward William Osula, featuring Isak and Joe Willock at a team meal.
Enjoyment. Charlie. You're too much.
Jokingly asking, "Where's my invite, bro?" Osula's response, "Anytime my bro join us," was light-hearted but suggestive, hinting at camaraderie and perhaps ongoing off-field connections with Newcastle's Swedish contingent. Elanga, who has produced 6 goals and 9 assists in 33 league appearances for Nottingham Forest this season, recently acknowledged he is happy at the City ground, but admitted his strong form has naturally attracted suitors. A potential move to St James's Park could offer a compelling next step in his career. particularly with Newcastle eyeing European football and in need of quality depth in wide areas. As Mitchell reshapes the squad this summer, Elanga's blend of pace, directness, and familiarity with fellow Swede Isak could make him a strong candidate to fill the right-wing void that still lingers. Then moving on, Newcastle United's youth-focused recruitment strategy appears to be gaining momentum, with sporting director Paul Mitchell reportedly making a move to bring Christian Kofane to St James's Park. The 18-year-old Albacete forward has emerged as one of the standout young prospects in Spain's Segunda division, and sources in Spain suggest Newcastle are among several elite clubs tracking his progress. Mitchell, in collaboration with head of recruitment Steve Nixon, has intensified efforts to identify emerging talent across Europe, particularly players available at modest fees, but with high upside. So far, that approach has yielded low-risk acquisitions such as Vakhtang Salia, Miodrag Pivas, Baran Yildiz, and the imminent arrival of Antonio Cordero from Malaga. Now, Christian Kofane may be the next in line. Since joining Albacete in January, the Cameroonian striker has quickly adapted to Spanish football, scoring 5 goals and providing an assist in his last 5 matches. His quick impact has attracted a wave of attention, not only from Newcastle, but also Aston Villa, Manchester United, and a host of top European clubs including Real Madrid, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, Villarreal, Monaco, Lille, and Real Betis. Reports from Mundo Deportivo suggest Newcastle have made contact over a potential transfer, with Kofane's release clause reportedly set at €5 million, a fee that aligns with Mitchell's preference for securing undervalued talent before their market value skyrockets. While Kofane has played fewer than 20 senior games, his rapid adjustment to the professional stage and dynamic forward profile make him an ideal candidate for Newcastle's development pipeline. Similar to Cordero, he represents a calculated investment in future first-team potential, even if immediate impact may not be expected. Mitchell's recruitment model relies on layering high-ceiling youth signings alongside key senior reinforcements. Though €5 million may seem a bold outlay for a teenager with a short track record, Newcastle are positioning themselves as frontrunners in the race, keen to act decisively before the competition intensifies. With interest building across Europe, Kofane's release clause could soon be activated, and Newcastle's proactive approach might give them a vital edge. Whether this becomes another success story in Mitchell's early tenure remains to be seen, but the intent is clear. The Magpies are building for the future, and Christian Kofane could be a cornerstone in that long-term vision. Then, as Newcastle prepare for a transformative summer, one key figure has already made his intentions crystal clear. Sandro Tonali is going nowhere. Despite ongoing speculation from Italy linking the 24-year-old with a return to Serie A, The Telegraph's Luke Edwards reports that Tonali has told Newcastle he's committed to the club long-term and wants to repay the faith shown during his suspension. Tonali is reportedly loving life under Eddie Howe and is fully settled in the northeast. He's also said to be grateful to the club and fans for their unwavering support during his 10-month ban for gambling breaches. Newcastle are equally adamant. He's not for sale. Serie A giants like Juventus lack the funds to make a serious bid, and while clubs like Manchester City and Real Madrid have been loosely linked, there's zero desire at St James's Park to cash in. The club see Tonali as a core part of their rebuild and want to build the team around him moving forward. After his stellar first season, where he's emerged as one of the best midfielders in the Premier League, that stance comes as no surprise. Newcastle are preparing to go again in the market, with a right-sided centre-back, right winger, goalkeeper, and a striker on the wish list. That last bit may be a nod to the expected departure of Callum Wilson, whose contract is winding down. Meanwhile, the club are relaxed over Alexander Isak's future. Talks are set to begin over a new deal, and Yasser Al-Rumayyan has reportedly made it clear no bids will be entertained for the Swedish star. Then, in a team update, Newcastle United have been dealt a significant setback in their bid for Champions League qualification, with influential midfielder Joelinton expected to miss the remainder of the season due to a recurring knee issue. The Brazilian was sent for scans over the weekend after experiencing renewed discomfort during Friday's training session, and early indications suggest the injury will rule him out of the club's final 4 Premier League fixtures. Eddie Howe's side currently sit third in the table, but with crucial matches looming, including a trip to Brighton and a pivotal home clash against 5th-placed Chelsea. The absence of a player of Joelinton's caliber could prove costly. Known for his physical presence, work rate, and ability to deliver in high-pressure moments, Joelinton was particularly vital in Newcastle's Carabao Cup triumph over Liverpool earlier in the season. The 27-year-old has been managing a persistent knee complaint for much of the campaign, and while the current issue isn't deemed serious in the long term, medical staff have advised caution. Despite the recommendation, Joelinton is reportedly reluctant to accept his season is over, holding out hope of a return before the final whistle on the campaign. In his absence, Joe Willock, who started in the dominant 3-0 win over Ipswich, is expected to take on a larger role, with teenage prospect Lewis Miley also in line for increased minutes, as Howe looks to maintain momentum during a tightly contested top 5 race. And finally, if you want to know Newcastle's secret behind their successful season, the one real reason they don't want you to know, click the video link on screen now.